January 31st, 2022, right here live from the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. I'm Kevin Derryberry, your program host. My co-host and broadcast partner for the ACU football team is Ed Cole. Ed, my main man, how are you this morning?
Mr. Derryberry?
I feel like it's morning already. It's been a long day.
Okay.
It's been a long day. Long morning.
Good evening, Mr. Derryberry.
Good evening.
Good evening,
you.
folks.
We welcome in all of our viewers. It's a pleasure to have you, and we have another incredible program for you. Mr. Tim Gosen has scheduled some solid guests, as we do each and every week right here on the Storm Report. We'd like to talk with head softball coach for the Firestorm. That will be Mike Mayben will join us here. First-year head coach for Mr. Mayben, and he has an incredible background and a lot of winning in his background. We're going to talk to Coach Mayben about that. Of course, the ladies got it done over the weekend. They split with the number 2 team in the country, Ed, and it was a phenomenal showing for all the ladies on the diamond.
Yeah, great way for them to start off. A good barometer. The first 2 games of your season, you go against the number 2 team in the country. Yeah, that'll let you know where you are right off the bat.
Yeah, they were 44-19 last year, so that number 2 ranking is certainly appropriate. So Mike Mayben will join us on the program as well. We'll also switch gears to talk a little basketball with head coach Rusty Rogers. We'll keep it on the ladies' side of things here this evening. And then joining us at the end of the program, we will speak with Baylee Slaughter and Alyssa Marin. Both of those are playing for Rusty Rogers, both having outstanding seasons for the 16-win Lady Firestorm. So we'll be elated to talk to those girls. But you know what? A lot of firsts on the weekend. We got the first win for head coach Mike Mayben on the softball diamond. And then Trent Bruns picked up his first win for the men's volleyball team this weekend as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And then I think for the first time that I can remember, our baseball team was the NAIA National Team of the Week. And I don't know that that's happened before this week, but Coach McDonald's baseball team, 6-0. It's a program record and a lot of excitement here on campus.
That is really awesome. As much as this university is growing, to see their sports teams play as well as they have, as you've alluded to with all the information you've just kicked out, that's a great start, and hopefully it can snowball into more.
Yeah, you talk about snowball. How about the men's swimming team? They qualified for the NAIA Nationals. That's the first time in program history they did that. So,
nice.
Again, a lot of firsts. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to pay a couple bills, and when we come back, we're going to talk softball. We're going to take it to the diamond with head coach Mike Mayben straight ahead on the Storm Report. Welcome back to the Storm Report. I'm Kevin Derryberry. He's Ed Cole, and in the middle is head coach Mike Mayben, now in his first year coaching softball for the Lady Firestorm. Coach, congratulations on your tenure here and the hiring, and we welcome you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I got to tell you, looking back just a little bit here, quite a resume, if you will. It seems as though at one point or another you've set up and began to lead a ring ceremony party. You've had several. You have 2 national championships and a ton of history at the high school level, and a lot of winning has come your way.
We've been blessed with some wonderful athletes and coaches along the way that have allowed us to build programs and have the experience of being able to play on that last day, which is pretty unique. Really glory to God that we just have had that. My wife and I have coached 12 years of high school softball together. The first 3 were pretty challenging, to be honest, and then it kind of turned things around and found a space that we were able to work together and coach together and enjoyed the success there at the high school level. And we're blessed to be able to go to Southern Oregon for 4 years.
There's no doubt about it. The question would have to come up that you're coaching with your wife. I was going to ask you about Jimmy G, the other Jimmy G, Jimmy Gutierrez, our softball coach assistant. But what is that dynamic like working and coaching with your wife? And, of course, we know maybe you guys carpool together. Who knows?
Unfortunately, she works, and so she shows up at practice on her own. But so it doesn't save us in any gas, that's for sure. But it has been one of those unique things. I know a lot of people kind of ask us, how do you manage doing that together? But
sure.
we have truly enjoyed just the ministry of being able to serve families, serve athletes, and be out on the field together. And we complement one another on the field. She is not all that interested in all the X's and O's and trying to make decisions in the game, but she is certainly great at serving the players and making sure they're cared for and making sure that I'm keeping my head on straight. And we have all the little details are set up and done, from writing lineups to making sure that the right ball bucket's in the right spot.
It's a balance then, right?
Yeah, very much so.
And clearly she's your rock, right?
Absolutely. I would not be doing this, continuing to do this, if it wasn't for my family. It's unique to have her and my daughter, who graduated from Southern Oregon, on the staff also this weekend, and to be able to see them interact with the players throughout the game and kind of look over to the dugout. And I don't have to say a lot, because I look over and they're already talking to those players that I'm about to say, hey, make sure you remind, and they're already doing it.
That is awesome. So in your 4 years, as Katie mentioned, up with the Raiders, two NAIA national championships, what is it in your time there? What is it that interested you about coming down here to ACU when you were looking and you were like, okay, I think we should apply, we should do the interviews, and we should make this move once you got the offer?
I think getting the opportunity to coach at SOU was unique, and that Coach Pistol kind of reached out and gave me the opportunity to come on staff. Being I had stepped away from high school ball when my daughter graduated. I had a younger daughter, Mia, who's a major part of this story being here. She went to another high school. She chose to go to Cascade Christian High School, and I was coaching at North Medford. My wife said, hey, I'm going to watch our two kids play. They're close enough. I'm going to watch them play. I'm going to step away. You can keep coaching if you want. We made the decision at the very end of the summer in August that we were both going to step away, and we thought that just meant that the Lord was kind of leading us in a different direction, and coaching was not going to be in the picture. And appreciated about 6 months later, Coach Pistol offered a position on her staff to come in and help out, and that my daughter Taylor was generous enough to say, yeah, Dad, I think that would be a great fit. And at that time, we were pretty happy. I mean, everything was kind of moving in the right direction. We get to coach on a program that was ranked from number 5 all the way up to number 1 most of the time that we were there. And I had a great job teaching. There was no intent on thinking about doing anything else. I got a little taste in that year where Coach Pistol went to San Diego and got to kind of have a little taste of being a head coach at the collegiate level. And kind of you just want that confirmation that you can actually do that. Like, you know you can do it at the high school level, but there's another level and there's more levels. And can you make that work? Through that, my daughter is going to Grand Canyon here. And in her freshman year 2 years ago, she said, hey, I'm going to find you a job out here as a head softball coach. I'm going to find a coaching job. And we kind of laughed about it. Whatever. That's not a big deal. And then last March, I think it was, she said, hey, there's a head coaching job at Arizona Christian University. Well, I saw Jimmy, he's interim. He'd been here. And I said, hey, they probably already have their person.
He's a solid coach in his own right.
Did a great job. And kind of a long story. I apologize if I'm going too long here, but we applied because she wanted us to apply and showed us, hey, here it is online. Go and apply, and got to talk with Dr. Dreyer about the position, and really was still in a position that in a space that we weren't ready to move. We thought, this is it. We're good. We're settled. And when I got here, and Jimmy took me on the tour of campus in the time that I had to come and just kind of ask questions and find out more about the program, and I got to be on campus and see what was going on here. Between Jimmy and his just passion for this program and love for these kids and saying, hey, I'm here to serve, whatever you need. And then my wife going, you get an opportunity, you've done 20 years in public education, you get an opportunity to go work in Christian education. We just felt like that was God's calling and kind of opening a door for us.
It typically works that way. You mentioned ministry before, and when you when you trust in him, that seems you're led this way, and it becomes a no-brainer, right? It really does. Well, you took your girls, your first time taking the girls right here at home. You played at Firestorm Field here. And first of all, just take us through the stadium and the arrangement. Fast track, it's a new turf, and they played a few games before, but it was your first game coaching here at home.
Yeah, it was the first game that we got to be here, and what I was really impressed by, it was the number of people that just came out to support the program and support the team, whether it be parents. College of Idaho always travels well. Obviously, they were in the Cascade Conference. We played them 7-8 times last year. I can't even remember at this point. So we know them very, or at least I know them. Our family knows them very, very well. And so it was a just great environment and atmosphere out there. And we do know our field. It's turf field. It's a deep field. So we had some advantages along the way in how we fielded and what we did defensively.
One great thing about the weekend is that there was no parking anywhere, and that was also an indication. Ed, it was a challenge too. None of my spots were available. We had to create your own parking spot.
Oh, yeah.
So
Katie has his usual spot, but it's gone.
It was not available for me. We had a little conversation with our security officer about cones and whatnot, but no, we had a good time with it. But it was just great to see that support. That support was inside the event center as well. It was campus-wide. Football had a lot going on. We had 11 commitments on Saturday for the football team for Jeff Bowen. But your ladies took it to the circle, and what a debut for the freshman, Savannah Smith. Is that right? Savannah? I want to make sure we got to get the right name. Savannah, a complete game gem, 7 strikeouts. You allowed 2 runs. You guys were staked to a couple runs early, 4-0 after the first inning. That's a nice lift for your softball team.
Absolutely. Savannah is actually a junior college transfer from Skagit Valley, and she came in really a late recruit and had made herself, she said, I'm coming. I want to be a part of your program. I want to be there. And has been this amazing kind of leader in the circle and had a great fall. One of the things that has really helped her is getting in with Coach Kelly in the weight room and just really starting to buy into how that can make her better. It's made her lower half stronger. And then Coach Val Vidal, who has just done a fantastic job of getting more out of her than when she came in. She had some things to work on, and she's really bought into getting better and improving every day. And to come out, that's a really good lineup. They were short. I mean, they were short. They're one of their best hitters, Haley Loffer, who is a fantastic ball player, who was on the COVID list, but she still took a very good lineup and made them, kind of kept them at bay. Only 2 runs and did a fantastic job.
Back to your roster and your lineup, Claire Buckley. She's one of the headliners as far as some of your key returning players. What are you liking so far? I know it's early. You're only going into Game 3 of your season, but what are you liking about your ladies so far as you continue to learn them and they continue to learn you, Coach?
I think the biggest thing, we just had our end of our practice today was just kind of mentor on Monday and had some communication about how they felt about the weekend, what they took away, and it's really about team chemistry. Is that they're passionate for one another. They love playing together. We have 2 third basemen who they're competing for playing time, and they get after it every day, and they cheer each other on, and that is kind of pervasive throughout this whole group. They love playing together. They're competing together, and that speaks volumes to the recruiting job that Coach Welsh and Coach Gutierrez did to bring in quality players.
Coach, we were going back to Claire for just a moment. 2 for 4 with a home run. She got that home run in the first inning. It's just a great leadoff opportunity to get those 4 runs early on. Of course, Kirsten Garcia also came in there. We talk about first Kirsten Garcia, her first career home run, but Claire Buckley, you look at her numbers. 395 career batting average last year, 468. You have some girls to work around here.
Oh, absolutely. There's talent on this roster throughout, and so we have the opportunity to kind of come in and really focus in on those things like team chemistry, building the program from that perspective and learning how to play together and compete together. We came in with players like Claire and Kirsten and Taylor Schleisman and know that they're going to be able to hold their own against any team in the country and be able to compete. And then we have these young freshmen coming in that they want to compete too, and they're enjoying the process and getting after it, and they give us a little bit of energy. Jaden Miles in left field is a special ball player. She's going to do some pretty special things. And Joelle Dowdy, who's stepped in she's really an outfielder who's stepped in and helped us out by catching because we've had so many injuries to our catching staff. So I'm really proud of the way this team has kind of come together and started to galvanize.
That's awesome. Looking at your schedule, Coach, no cupcakes. Of course, you start over the number 2 team in the country. You got a few more nationally ranked teams. Of course, your Raiders, the team that you used to coach, you've got that scheduled in early March. What's the makeup? How do you make up a schedule like that? And did Southern Oregon come into play once you took over the position? How did that come to be that you're going to play your old team in March?
That was a conversation we had immediately with Coach Pistol right after, kind of sharing with her our heart and what we had decided to do and coming out here. And she was extremely supportive throughout that whole process. And it was one of those things that we were talking about behind the scenes because we really didn't want the team to be thinking about any of that or processing any of that as we were going to the World Series last year. So it was a conversation we had right after the World Series that, hey, would you be able to come up here and play up here? It's where my whole family is from. My wife's whole family is from. So we've born and raised in Medford, Oregon. It's a whole 20 minutes from Ashland. So it's an opportunity for us to go back. But I also really want the team to kind of experience that environment that our high school players and our college players got to have where my family, my extended family, they just kind of come around and they're around the game. They love being around it. But also to get to see and feel what that championship environment looks like. To be able to be on the facility and get to see Coach Pistol, and she's a great mentor and taught me a ton. So that opportunity to go there just was something that, at least for this year, we couldn't pass up.
Coach, we talk about culture an awful lot. I think Goody helped kind of lay that foundation for ACU softball. How have you been able to kind of just blend in and integrate with the program?
Well, I'll say one of the very first things is I called through the roster this summer just to get to know players was they commented that one of the biggest things that really they appreciated was that Coach Gutierrez would read from the competitor's Bible every practice and instill that devotion. And we've just built upon that. Every year in the programs that I've been a part of, we have built on Wooden's Pyramid of Success. We start by the building blocks of industriousness and enthusiasm, and that was our really our mantra throughout the whole week going into this game was, hey, we are going to have heart. We are going to be an enthusiastic team. It doesn't mean that we're cheerleaders. It means we're going to play with passion. We're going to play with heart, and we saw that in inning number 1. And so it was kind of this combination of taking and getting now the opportunity going from public education where I always had to talk about it in a little bit vaguer terms, and now we get to be just explicit about our faith and what we're talking about when we talk about enthusiasm and passion, and that we know Christ being on our side. And I know Coach Chambers in his talk with our players before the game was, hey, in Christ we have no fear. We don't have to fear as we go and compete. And our kids really bought into all of that and brought that to the field. And you just saw that energy. Inning number 1, we made 2 plays on line drive balls that could have easily turned the tide of that game and kind of shut us down real fast. Claire making a stabbing, jumping catch on a line drive, and then a line drive to center field that got caught. So I'm getting the hey, it's time to shut up, Coach.
No.
Mike,
my players tell me that all the time. It's good.
Really, it was a great weekend. You guys ended up getting the split with the number 2 team in the country. We mentioned that, but we're great to have you here. We're proud to have you here, Coach. Chambers, the best transformational coach in the business, no doubt about it. He's been around on campus 7 or 8 years now, and working with your wife, that's got to be great. Have your family close by, which obviously means a lot to you. All those things are just win-wins, and hey, you got a nice split over the weekend, so things are going good for you, and we welcome you here to ACU and wish you nothing but success going forward, Coach.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me on. Thank you for coming on, Coach.
Women's softball coach Mike Mayben begins the season with a victory, 1-1. And tell you what, it's nice to have some pitching. Savannah Smith, Trinity Lawson, 2 of those girls leading the way. We're going to talk a little round ball with Rusty Rogers on the Storm Report for January 31st, 2022. Don't go away. Special thank you to softball coach Mike Mayben. Appreciated that visit with him. All right, Rusty Rogers, talk a little round ball here. Coach, we welcome you back to the program. I think we mentioned this is maybe your third time on the show. It's like Saturday Night Live. You continue just to keep coming back here. We appreciate you. And, well, I'll tell you what, 1-1 on the week. You got a nice win over San Diego Christian. Took care of business there. And the Royals are tough, right? They're just matchup challenges. But so far, how you appreciating the way that the girls are giving you effort? And 16 wins, you guys are kind of maybe where you want to be as you ramp up towards the latter half of the GSAC season.
Yeah, we've gone through a really tough stretch of our schedule after winning 10 in a row, and the circumstances were just ideal. We had a lot of home games in there. We had a lot of games that we were the favorite, and then we do the trip out to Westmont and the Masters, and prior to that, we're up in San Francisco and Sacramento on back-to-back weekends. So we were literally gone for 9 out of 11 days, and we got hit with the COVID bug, lost 6 players over that, and then added. You're going to meet Alyssa Marin. We added her to the playing squad. She finally got cleared on her knee after 3 years of being out.
Wow.
So we had a lot of things going on, and we had the schedule up against us.
Wow.
And, yeah, we just we kind of tanked it. So we had expected to do better in this most recent run, but, we came from behind on a couple games. These girls just don't have any quit. I just wish we can start better and play a little bit more consistent through a game. But, I'm really proud overall of where we are. If you would have told me we were going to be 16-8 after our first 24 games, I probably would have
sign up for that.
I would sign up for that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you bet.
So I don't want to seem too greedy here, but we do have a lot of talent and a lot of great kids. So great things to come forward.
Coach, no greed in the GSAC conference. Everybody knows that it's been familiar
The G
with
doesn't stand for greed.
It does not.
Okay.
Okay. No, we'll work on that one. You caught me off guard on that. But the G stands for great. Let's be honest. It's a great conference, and you got that win over San Diego Christian here at home. I was going to try to navigate around the program without mentioning Alyssa Alvarez for no reason other than we talk about her an awful lot, but a career high 35 points, it's certainly worth a mention. She continues to just pour it in the bucket.
Yeah, she is an amazing talent. Unfortunately, we're relying too much on her.
Okay.
And, the girls have kind of yielded to her. We've passed on some open shots, and, it's a little bit of a concern that we have right now. We need a little bit more balance, but and she's not a selfish player by any stretch of the imagination. I know last time we had been on here, we talked about her triple-double.
Right.
I mean, the girl can pass. She's as good a passer as she is a scorer. She's an exceptional talent. We just got to figure out how to give her the greatest support that we can and get the most out of her in terms of, success on the scoreboard.
How do you work on that, Coach? Getting as you mentioned, spreading the ball around, spreading the wealth around, so it's not just Alyssa all the time.
Yeah, it's been a challenge. I mean, that's something that, we reiterate over and over and over in practice, and, making sure they understand what is a good shot and what you can do in this kind of a situation to get yourself open and those kinds of things. And today, we just got out of practice literally a couple minutes ago, and our big emphasis we decided this week was, getting our post players more involved in the offense. And because right now we're relying on our perimeter game way too much, and, we're not getting to the foul line enough and those kind of things. So that's all part of this whole issue that we have as a team. So we need to get the ball inside. We need to get our 4s and our 5s, which you're going to meet 2 of them right here today, the 2 starters at the 4 and 5. We need to get them to the foul line at least, 10, 15 times total among them. And we're probably to the line maybe 3 or 4 times a game at this point. We're just such a perimeter team. And against the good teams, you got to be able to create offense other ways. So that's been a big emphasis for us.
We're visiting with head coach Rusty Rogers of the women's basketball program. Rusty, you mentioned Alyssa Marin, and we know that she's a junior from Shadow Ridge and the pride of the Stallions, I believe it is. What kind of a game does she bring? We haven't seen her on the court, and she just recently made her debut, but what kind of a game does she bring, and what kind of elements does she have?
Yeah, she's got some things she does offensively that'll just blow your mind. I call her the spin doctor.
Okay.
She's got that spin move down pat, and I know she has no idea what a spin doctor is, so I had to spend half a practice explaining what a spin doctor is. But
reference to another band, right?
Exactly, the
band.
Spin Doctors.
Yeah, gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Coaches, these kids, they just so young.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, I think
you got to teach them.
I'm showing my age, but But she's a tremendous talent, and she has great vertical jump leaping ability. She's long. She can do just about everything you could ask for of a player, and it's just getting her confidence and getting reps for her that has really been critical. Because literally, it's been 3 years since she took the court, and the last time I saw her play prior to coming here was an open gym. She came to one of our open gyms, and she just humiliated every one of our Firestorm girls. And I kept my eye on her from that day forward and said, I want that girl in our program. And then she hurts her knee a couple times, and she hopefully, we're over that at this point. But she can really add another dimension to our team.
Excellent.
As well as Baylee, she's sitting right next to her. What is Baylee? What has she brought to you so far this season?
The thing that impressed me most about Baylee is just her maturity over the 3 years that I've had the opportunity to coach her. She's a true leader, a leader by example. She's doing the laundry. She's doing whatever it takes to help the team. And that wasn't the Baylee I first met. It's just amazing how she has just matured to the point that my wife is a business owner. She just hired Baylee to be on her management team when she graduates.
On the payroll.
Right,
oh yeah, baby.
Go girl.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
My wife interviewed her and just loved her maturity and her approach to life and the way she handles things. That's been the most remarkable thing. And, Arizona Christian University has a lot to do with that. This is a great place for young people to develop spiritually and academically. So,
and Coach, how gratifying is it for you to see young ladies like Baylee just grow like that and continue to grow and progress, to grow from a young woman to an adult woman herself?
Yeah, it's why I do what I do. And it really didn't. I'm not a very smart person. It really didn't hit home with me until it hit home with me when I coached my own daughter, and I coached her through college, and I saw what a basketball program, if it's done the right way, can do for a young lady. And my daughter's doing really well in life, and I see it with Baylee, and I see it with our juniors and seniors, and it's literally why I do what I do, and it's extremely gratifying. And like I told them the other day before a game, a later moment, but I meant it. It was truth. In 10 years, when I'm at that retirement home in my wheelchair and I get a text from a Baylee Slaughter, I'm just going to tear up. It's going to make my day. So hopefully they won't forget about me.
Coach, you already thinking that maybe at some point you're going to be in a chair, in a wheelchair?
No.
Come on now.
I just had to dramatize the story a little bit.
Of course, throwing it around a little bit, huh? A little
Add a little drama into the production here, yeah.
Nothing wrong with embellishments. It's part of the process. Coach, you're going to take the ladies on another road trip back to the GSAC conference. We get Vanguard and Costa Mesa and Life Pacific University. What do you think you need to do to come away with a couple of victories there?
Boy, that's going to be a huge trip. Obviously, we got to take care of the basketball. We've got to play confidently. We've got to do some of the things I talked about earlier, get some inside scoring, get to the free throw line a little bit more, take the pressure off of Alyssa Alvarez in terms of scoring, and then we just got to play with high energy for 40 minutes. If you could have seen our last game, we had a 4-minute block there where we came from 25 points down and got it down to 10 against Hope, but we got to be able to play that way the entire game, and there's no reason why we can't, because we have tremendous depth. So the girls just got to figure out a way to play harder for shorter stints and allow their teammates to pick up the slack and continue that kind of thing. So that's our approach coming in. The Vanguard game's huge, just a huge game, because we're battling for that 6th spot. And the top 6 get a bye in the tournament, and we want to be able to get that bye. So this is a huge week for us. What
changes for you now that everybody is now eligible for the GSAC tournament?
Yeah, I kind of cost us a game already when they all. Well, you're talking about the teams? Yes. It really becomes more important now, seeding wise. I believe once you add all 10 teams to the mix, because you're going to have a 3-day game, potentially 3 games to win the thing now with 10 teams. So you want to get that bye situation where you don't have to play that many games, and you have a little bit more time to let things sink in, and you can scout your opponent and that kind of thing. So, yeah, and we haven't been there since I've been here, so it's going to be interesting.
Automatic bid, too, so you can win the whole thing,
yes,
right?
That's right.
That's huge.
The regular season gets one, and the tournament champ gets one. So it's kind of like our second chance.
Coach, of course, it's always about coaching up your ladies to get them ready for these games, but how do you coach yourself up? We know that you're very transparent, and you're like, you're very honest about, okay, as you mentioned, sometimes I blew it as far as the head coach, and I cost our team the victory on this night, or we didn't play really well because of the way I coached on this very night. So how do you continue to evaluate yourself as a head coach and make yourself better as you get ready to, again, get your ladies coached up in these games?
Yeah, you're perceptive, that's for sure. We mentioned Coach Chambers earlier in the earlier segment. Coach Chambers has come aside with me and has really helped me. I mean, I've been coaching for 38 years, and I'm still like a roller coaster at my ups and downs. The defeats, the victories aren't as nice as they should be, because I'm just always thinking about the next one. And Coach Chambers has really helped me. So we all know how he helps our student athletes.
Without question.
Absolutely.
But he has really, really invested in me personally, and it's been incredible. I mean, he's been an incredible resource for me, just to do to try to accomplish some of those things and be on a more even keel as a coach. Even though I've coached a long time, it just that passion and winning. It shouldn't be as important as it is to me, but I mean, it's really important to me, and I try to keep things in perspective, and Coach Chambers has helped me with that.
Coach, I have an easy, simple answer for Ed's question. Just make shots.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Just make shots. Basketball is a simple game when you make shots, and obviously there's a lot of challenges, and you certainly credit the other ladies that we're playing because they're on scholarship as well.
Hey,
so.
Kevin, when you said that, I saw Baylee's eyes. She's like, yeah, if we can only make more shots.
It's funny how that works, though, because what you said, it seems very simple, but it's very true. I mean, we play better defense when we're hitting shots. The energy's better when we're
Absolutely.
hitting shots. I mean, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that hoop's up there, and that's the goal of the
true.
game, right? To get that thing in there.
But yeah, what team doesn't play better when they make shots, right?
Yep.
Coach Chambers also helps the broadcast team. We've had some great conversations with Coach Chambers before a football game and prayer, and it's just he's just an incredible individual. As you were talking about, trying to gain more victories and improve in this season, make adjustments, do all those kinds of things. I was thinking to myself, maybe we should have Coach Chambers stop by and have a quick visit before you guys head out on the road, because he just seems to have that infectious ability to make people believe.
No question.
And that's just a really impressive trait that he has.
No question about it. He was in our locker room our last two games before the game, and loved every second of it. So, yeah, that is a great idea, and we love him. He just – he can only do so much, right?
I was thinking I can't speak
Everybody
for his
wants
schedule and work for his time, but yeah, certainly. Coach, we certainly appreciate you taking the time here. We wish you nothing but success going forward against Vanguard and Life Pacific and the rest of the schedule. You get William Jessup when you guys return home, so it's not getting any easier, but with your girls getting healthier and the mindset changing a little bit, there's hope.
Okay, there's hope, and I got a challenge for you. If you can get Alyssa and Baylee to talk, then you got my approval.
Baylee and I go way back. She's going to talk just fine.
Okay, great.
All right, very good. Coach Rusty Rogers, our guest. When we come back, Alyssa Marin, the pride of Shadow Ridge High School, will be here, as well as the pride of Marana. Baylee Slaughter joins the program right after this. Welcome back inside the Tower Grill. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Way on the other side, that's Ed Cole. And in the middle, we have Alyssa Marin and Baylee Slaughter, two young ladies that are really making an impact right now with this ACU basketball team. And really, I want to start with you, Baylee, first, because I know we go way back, and I've worked with you after a ball game. I'm packing up, and you're getting more shots in after the game, continuing to work on your game, but it's about your health. We always know it's been about your health. It seems like now, after the last stat I saw, 9 rebounds, you got to be feeling pretty good about things. And how's your body? How's your health? How's the mental health?
Yeah, I've been super consistent with making sure that I'm reading the Bible and doing my daily devotionals to keep up with that mental health. And as for physical health, I mean, DST is helping me in the weight room. And then obviously our training staff's really good at keeping me consistent on coming in and making sure that I'm doing everything that I need to do so I can go up there and get those rebounds and be kind of fearless, because it's kind of scary to go up there and you can get banged around sometimes. And I just try to clear that out of my head and say, that ball is going to be mine whether I get it or not. So
sometimes. How about all the time or any time, especially in the GSAC conference, right?
Yeah.
Alyssa, how about you? Coach just shared with us that it's been a 3-year journey for you to get back on the court. What's that been like for you?
It's been a crazy mental battle. In the beginning, it wasn't too bad, but so I got injured in 2019.
Okay.
I didn't know. I got misdiagnosed 3 times. So I was trying to get back each time, and another tear happened. So then I had my surgery in 2020, and I was rehabbing really hard.
Is this a knee injury?
Yeah, knee injury, yeah. And I was rehabbing really hard. That's around the same time I signed with ACU. And this summer I was just, doing a bunch of workouts. And right before the season started, I'm like, my knee kind of hurts. So I went in to get an MRI, and I tore both my meniscus.
Oh.
So that was like, I think it was the second surgery that really took a toll, because it's like, okay, you got to do this again.
Right.
But it feels good to finally be back. It's very long awaited.
That's good. We can see that in your smile right now. It's
Yeah.
nice to be back on the court healthy.
Alyssa, during those 3 years, did your desire to play basketball ever die, or did your love for the game just constantly keep you moving and motivate you to get back to where you are right now?
Definitely, I questioned it a lot. I definitely had to find my identity, because I kind of was like, okay, I'm a basketball player. This is who I am. And then when I had to go through all these rough patches, I'm like, okay, who am I outside of basketball? So that was like a big journey that I had to go through. But I think the love for the game really kept me motivated to keep working, because it was difficult. Being out that long, 3 years, it's like, okay, why am I doing this still? Like, is it still something I want to do? But I mean, even just the little like non-contact stuff I get to do with my teammates, it's just like, okay, this is why I'm here. Like, it's so fun. So,
Ladies, we always get the word from Coach Rogers, and he talks about his players an awful lot, and he definitely has a ton of love for his players and a ton of appreciation. But let's get the other side of the perspective. What's it like to play for Rusty Rogers?
Well, this will be my 3rd year, and obviously before I played under a completely different program. It was all kind of based around different players, and they wanted to run certain things. And so when Rusty came in, we didn't have that. We had some key players, and we kind of had to piece it together. And I just knew from the beginning, I was like, man, he's a little quirky, but I mean, I had to appreciate him coming in on this team. We had a lot of difficult chemistry in the beginning. And he just was super consistent about being this loving person that came in and took us all under his wing. And he's been consistent with that throughout the last couple of years, being like, hey, like, we are going through some really tough times, but I'm never going to stop loving you guys. And that's one thing that, like, really resonates with me, is how he emphasized that. And so playing underneath him, I can, like, feel that and have confidence, like, yeah, I can go out there and do everything that I can, because at the end of the day, I know he's going to have my back and that kind of thing. So playing underneath him, it's been very humbling, and it's been really fun to just kind of be in that kind of atmosphere. So,
Baylee, Coach talked about how you guys had 6 players out. You're dealing with all these COVID issues and just lady power issues. How open is Coach to like you or your other sisters, giving him ideas about, okay, we should run plays this way, or if you've got like some input that you think would make the basketball team better? Is Coach pretty open to listening to you and being amenable toward changing some things if he feels it's for the better of the organization?
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of trips, it's been hard with those 6 players, and I'm always in his ear like, hey, we can do this. Hey, here's what's happening behind the scenes. Hey, this is like, something we can look at, something that we can figure out, because those losses against Westmont and Masters, those were hard on us. And the week before that William Jessup game, I mean, we all took it. I know some of us took it really hard. And so going back to him, like, hey, like, what can we do differently on defense and what can we do different on offense? And obviously him and our assistant coaches watch a lot of film, so they're able to kind of go back and see more than what we are able to see, because I don't watch film as nearly as much as he does. But he's very proficient on, like, making things different and changing up defenses and throwing things at us and be like, hey, let's try this. And so I love being able to just kind of, like, go out there and do what he's kind of throwing at us, just to try, just to see if it'll get us out of this kind of slump, if that makes sense.
It's always kind of cool to throw different wrinkles in offensively and defensively for the teams that you're facing. So they're like, oh my gosh, we didn't see that when we were watching film in the Firestorm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how do we counteract that? And then you throw your opposition off because you're throwing some new things into it.
Yeah, and it's hard for I know some of our girls kind of struggle with, and they're not as confident. And I'm always like, yeah, let's just do it and see what happens, because I don't want to play against a team like that. So yeah, it's been very interesting throwing in those different defenses and offenses. Yeah.
Alyssa, we heard Baylee describe Coach as being kind of quirky at some point. I've never seen that at all in my time working with Coach Rogers. Coach Rogers, he's been a fantastic individual in my time. But Alyssa, for you, what is it like playing for Rusty?
Oh, man, it's great. I feel like in the past, I've had coaches who are very like, okay, you do this, and if you make a mistake, like, you know, you get punished. And I feel like for him, he's really a coach that, like, I agree with her completely. Like, he really cares. And I feel like with Coach Rusty, it's all about, like, life lessons. Like, at the end of the day, like she said, he'll be there for us. And even in the last game, we were down by a lot, and it was halftime, we went into the locker room, and he was like, if we just give it our all, and if we do our best, that's all we can do. If we win or we lose, but we know we did what we could, then I will be happy with you guys. And that's just a very comforting feeling to have, like, for a coach to say that, because a lot of the times there's coaches who really, like, get on you guys, and it brings you down with your confidence and who you are as a player. So just to have that is a really good feeling.
It's a different style, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a different culture, and there's a belief system in place. Let's just change up the topic just a little bit. When you go to some of your teammates for fun, who's another teammate that maybe we have spoken with on the show, we have it, that kind of keeps you kind of loose a little bit? Who keeps you laughing? Who keeps you? Is it Alyssa? Is it? No, okay. Oh, you're saying, hey, you answer the question. I guess.
Yeah, I got to make her talk some more. Yeah.
I thought you were kind of giving her a little. It's her. It's
yeah,
Alyssa
like she hasn't
Marin.
talked enough.
Oh no.
Yeah, who keeps the group light and is always kind of in that entertaining part, but still taking care of business?
Definitely Ange 1,000%. She is like, she's just so unexpected. She'll scream, she'll yell, she'll chest bump Rusty. Like, she's just all over the place, but she brings full energy every practice. Like, if people are quiet, like, she will make sure that everyone's loud. Like, she just brings great energy, and she works so hard.
How about you, Baylee? You agree?
Yeah, I would agree. She's very positive. Yeah, she's very
She's crazy.
Yeah, I have nothing but love and respect for her. She's one of the hustlers that come to practice. I know a lot of girls are like, I'm just getting fouled a lot. And I'm like, you just got to keep up with the intensity, man. And she just keeps it positive and happy and just loud. Yeah, something that we need.
She's boisterous, and she's rambunctious and supportive then.
Yeah.
Very good.
So in the locker room, what's like the music du jour? Who is the Kevin likes to ask this a lot of our athletes. Who's the DJ that keeps the jams rolling and you guys are getting hyped up in the locker room? Who's in charge of the music?
We don't do that.
You don't?
We need a playlist.
We do.
We don't have, like, a DJ.
No, we don't have a DJ. We kind of do our own thing when we get in the locker room, and we kind of just focus on making connections and joking around with each other.
Yeah.
We're not really like.
It's more communication than music, but we do need to get our music
I never
figured
even
out.
thought about that. Yeah.
Who keeps the tidiest locker? Like, you just look when something gets out of place, and they're like, hey, did you move my shoes?
Are you guys tidy?
I would say so.
Yeah?
I would say
we're
so.
tidy.
Okay.
I know I'm pretty like. I make sure everything's in my right corner and the shoes are where they're supposed to be.
See, I'm not that particular. I think you're probably better than me.
Yeah.
Any superstitions?
Any superstitions?
Yeah, like left high top first all the time, every time.
I always wear new hair ties for a game.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my
There you go.
superstition. Yeah.
You wouldn't get that
Oh.
anywhere else but the Storm Report.
Breaking news.
How about you, Alyssa? Any superstitions?
I
No.
don't think so, no.
Even after all those crazy injuries and fluke stuff, there's nothing that just makes you go, you know what? I'm going to put this shirt on the same way, pants the same way. We got to change it up a little bit.
I think so. Maybe I should start doing that then. Yeah, I don't.
It's more baseball stuff, but you never know.
So when you're on buses and planes, do you guys have like the same seats or assigned seats, or you need to sit next to a certain person?
We don't have assigned seats, but the last 2 weeks we've flown together, and I've made it known that, like, hey, we need to stick together as a team. Don't just, like, spread out throughout the bus or the plane. We were on planes. But because in years past, we'd all just kind of, like, disperse, not want to be near anybody. And so that was one thing that I wanted to make sure was that we all kind of just stuck together and there wasn't any seclusion. So.
Let's give credit where credit's due. These student athletes are flying to these venues now.
Great.
That is absolutely just it's incredible to see the growth here on campus. I've been here almost 9 years now, a little over 9 years. And the fact that you guys are now taking aircrafts to the next venue, that's pretty cool. Short and sweet trips, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For an hour trip, you're going to Santa Clarita or Santa Barbara, it's just you're up and down just that quickly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Kevin, it makes them fresh as opposed to sitting on the bus for hours. You get on a plane, you're up there.
Have you ever gone with ACU and been on a bus, ever?
We've been on the bus before.
We have.
Been on a plane before.
Yeah. Those are longer rides than normal,
yes.
I would say.
You guys went with football on a bus?
A little bit, yeah. Last year
Oof.
to Kaiser.
Went to Kaiser.
Where the heck is that at?
And
in Florida.
Oh, my goodness.
That's where
Wow.
Baylee, I know you were part of the very first women's program, I think, that went to the NAIA National Championship Tournament. Do you recall that experience, and have you been able to share that with anybody on just what that feeling's like?
It was the feeling that I was able to, I don't know, I'm still speechless to just think about it. That atmosphere was unlike anything I'd ever been in my entire life. I never really got a chance in high school to go play in like a championship or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Never went to anything super big like that. So just being around all the different types of players in an arena. Obviously, I'd played tournaments in like U of A, McHale Center, ASU. Like I've been in huge arenas before, but just being there with all these other NAIA athletes that all have come from different walks of life, and just being able to experience that was pretty spectacular. And I think one thing that really stuck with me is walking to the locker room the day of our game. There was a line of children, elementary children, and it was in Billings, Montana. So it was a really small town, not a whole lot of I don't know what the population is, but there's lines of kids. Mm-hmm. And so on the way to the locker room, we walked down this line of kids, and we just were high-fiving all these little kids. And I have a video of me doing it, and it's just a very humbling experience to be able to play in front of little kids like that. I don't know. That's something that I always dreamed of when I said that, I want to go play college basketball. So.
And this is BC,
cool.
of course. This is BC before COVID, of course. So.
Yeah, obviously before COVID. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, ladies, we got 6 more games, and then we get into this GSAC tournament. How important is it I'll ask you this, Baylee, how important is it for you to finish these 6 games strong and roll right into the tournament, roll right into the playoffs?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about this after the game the other night, how Coach mentioned our 16-8 record, and I know a lot of us seniors want to go out with a bang because this is it pretty much. And going into that bye, I think that would be better time. More preparation for us going into tournament, because it's not going to be an easy tournament since all teams are going. So I think getting out these next 6 wins, that's absolutely crucial to getting that bye game, so that way we can extra prepare for this tournament so we can go farther in it than we did, 3 years ago? 4 years ago? My freshman year?
I think it was 3, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
And Alyssa, at least you know you'll be battle tested. You've already been through 24 games. You get through 6 more. That's 30 games right into the tournament. You guys have seen your ups and downs, but you're still together as a sisterhood, as an organization, and you guys just handle business and go right into the second season.
Yeah. It's definitely a good feeling to know that they have my back through this all, and I'm super excited to see how the season goes.
My last one for you, Alyssa. How's your conditioning? How are you feeling now? Have you reached that comfort level now that you started the last game? And I know Casey Brown had 10 boards. You had 9, so I know you guys you're on your way. As a 5, got a little responsibility now, right?
Yeah. Definitely conditioning could be better, but they're there to help me out.
That'll come in time.
Yeah.
I asked Baylee this question through maroon and gold goggles. Did you mention McHale Center? Is that a big venue? Is that like a big deal, McHale?
Well, I mean, we did play U of A this year.
I'm just giving you the business. Of course, Tucson, the Wildcats, home of the Cats.
It's pretty big.
We thought that was great that you ladies went there to play in that venue and to take out a Pac-12 foe. I know up from Marana area, you got to be all Cats in your family, huh?
Oh, heck no. I'm an ASU fan.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. There you go, Baylee, right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ed, what else?
I think we've Tim's given us the break sign.
Coach Joe McDonald's baseball team will take on Lewis Clark State on Wednesday and Thursday. Huge games there. Top 5 team, number 6 now, 6th in the country. Joe McDonald's team is 6-0. And I tell you what, they have been a blast. A lot of great characters on that group as well. So many exciting things happening here on campus. And ladies, we certainly enjoy speaking with you. And say hello to T. Waters for me. And we'll look forward to catching with you guys a little bit later in the season. And now the focus becomes on Vanguard one at a time.
Yes, thank you for having us on.
Thank you.
How fun is this broadcasting thing? It's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I had to send her a link. She's like, "What is this?" And I was like,
Yeah, I've
"I
never
watched."
heard of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and make sure you send your parents and your family the link too, so they can check it out.
I will sure do
Definitely.
that.
In fact, Baylee, you might want to say hi to your pops because he tries to watch you for everything. So
Yes.
that's awesome. Great support system at home there. For Ed Cole, Baylee Slaughter, and Alyssa Marin, and Rusty Rogers, and of course our guest with Mike Mayben, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Special thank you to Robert Nielsen and Tim Gosen, our executive producer. Thanks for watching the Storm Report, episode 15. Until next time, so long for now.